Welcome to another solo session live stream. I'm your host with a pirate name in the real estate game, Zach Kidd. And this is Fraud Friday. Good evening, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day. How you doing? Got a hot date? Look, my wife just agreed to walk down the aisle with me again. Yeah. Getting kind of serious. We're going to the grocery store here in a little bit. Anyhow, it's Fraud Friday, and it happens to be Valentine's Day. So I wanted to change it up a little bit. There's I like doing my Fraud Fridays. I like doing my Military Mondays. I missed out on my normal live stream last night because I'm working on a tech problem still. Tonight I got a special theme going for you here. So gather around with me over next to the fireside. Yeah, we're going to tell a little story here. I've actually got a few things for you, but it's okay. It's going to be fun. We're going to tell a little story. We've got a friend of the family. I'm going to change her name just because it seems the right thing to do. And we're going to call her Beth. Beth is retired at this point in her life and is in a community living situation, which is fine. That happens as you get older. But back in the day, I mean, she was a bit of a powerhouse. She was married for a long time. She had a master's degree, worked at a company that everybody would recognize. She was pretty high up in the food chain there too. And I had to Google it just to see how recognizable it would be. And apparently that company was on the first 10 companies ever to found the Fortune 500 list. So, it's a big name company, and she did really well for herself. Now she's getting on up there in years. She's retired, but she retired with a good amount of money. And I'm very happy for her. She's been a lifetime friend. I remember her from when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And now, she's pretty, she's still independent, but again, she's at a place that if she needs care, she can have it, which is fine. But but this past year, she met a guy on Facebook, and he apparently was suave, charmer, doctor, something along those lines. Really they hit it off great, and they were having a good time chatting, and they're making plans for the future, which hey, that's what you want in life, right? Somebody to spend your days with and make plans with and actually do things with. Things we're progressing pretty good. And then as things progressed, he's like, hey, we should live together. Cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I got a couple medical problems, but that sounds good. He's like, hey, I got a beat on a place down in Mexico. The problem is I don't have the down payment for it right now. Can you help, because this is going to be our place. Can you help me out with that? And that's how how fast a romance scam can happen. Obviously the guy wasn't a doctor. He didn't really exist. She's still heartbroken over losing this guy who didn't really exist. And that's why I'm happy to change her name, because I think it's a very important story. That's why I do this subject matter for the podcast, because I don't ever want to see anybody go through that again. We hear about these things in the abstract a lot. And even, just watching this, it's abstract. You don't know Beth. I know Beth. She's a great person. She just, got taken advantage of by somebody who had nefarious intent. And it's not her fault. These things happen. And of course, this is part of the problem with frauds and scams and naturally, especially under circumstances like this, she didn't want to volunteer this information. And that's understandable. You're embarrassed, you're a little, ashamed and scared. What if this blows back on me? It's rough. So this is something to consider. And we're seeing this more and more, especially with the older generations. They have Facebook. They've got their phone. They're chatting with people. And I think it's important, especially for the younger generations, to understand that those of us who were around from, say, the 1980s, back in the old 1900s, that hurts my soul. But, older generations, we were used to the concept of pen pals or somebody that you would just talk to on the phone. You could go years and not actually meet somebody face to face. Matter of fact, my grandmother and my grandfather were pen pals during World War II, and then decided to meet in person, and then decided to get married. It like that was a very normal thing to have happen. And for the older generations now, it's not uncommon for, like, if you're just texting somebody or chatting with them on Facebook, that's a very normal thing to do. You're just using technology to do it quicker. And this could be perpetrated through text message, email, WhatsApp, like however you can digitally make contact with somebody without actually seeing them in person. These romance scams can be played that way. And indeed, that's how they are always played. There's always that separation. So of the things that to take away from this cautionary tale, it's number one, watch out for your older friends, especially from the generations that were pre-digital. It's not that we don't know how to use technology. It's that we don't think of it as being threatening. And it can be a very dangerous trap. Michelle Rothwell says, happy anniversary, Frog Friday. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle's awesome. Another person in my friend group I absolutely love. But yeah, it's take care of them. And if you're younger and you're tech savvy, be aware of these things and have the conversation with them. Say, look, if you're chatting up anybody, you need to let me know about it just so I can verify who they are. I know younger, especially women, man, y'all got better skills than the FBI at looking people up. Volunteer that. The amount of money that Beth lost was not insignificant. It's more than I've made in more than what my salary was some years. I'll put it that way. It was not small money. And just do it as a favor to them. And part of Beth's problem was she doesn't have kids. So she doesn't have nearly as many people directly invested in keeping her safe. It's not that people don't care. It's that we're not around enough to know. That's the reality for a lot of people. So, if you're doing it, like family right now is watching the TV show Landman, which we absolutely love. But, if you're going out and cutting up with the seniors at the senior center, maybe talk to them a little bit. If before you ever even think about admitting you get a debit card or checkbook, you need to meet people in person. You need to have a better relationship than just somebody texting you. There's nothing wrong with that. And who cares if you offend them? That's fine. I mean, I'm real quick. I'm broke. What do you want? I'm broke. Leave me alone. And here's the quote of the day for you. Feel free to pass this along to them because they will remember this.
Trust but verify.
That's the Gipper. Yep. Ronald Reagan. He was president in the 80s. Trust but verify. Huge thing. It's okay to trust somebody, but make sure you verify who they are, what their intentions are, and the legitimacy of any requests. It's okay to say no. If they can't handle no, then you don't need them in your life. It's a hard conversation to have, especially with older generations, because they've lived their lives. They should have already learned all of this stuff, and it's embarrassing that there's even a possibility that they may not understand that these things happen. So have the conversation with them. It's super important. I'm going to, this is a different story, but I want to share this one with you as well. This is actually from an FBI file.
Initially, he would read my wall, I would read his wall, we would post things. He would like things, I would like things. Then it got to, we would just share emails. We started sharing pictures. I knew that just based on the conversations that we'd had, that he was someone that I would like to meet. I felt a real soul connection with him right away. And we sang to each other, we prayed with each other, we'd talk about what happened at church on Sunday. There wasn't an immediate talk about getting together. He was trying to finish up a job in California, and he needed somebody to help finish that job up. And so I sent him. I thought about it long and hard. I prayed about it, and I've always been a very giving person. And I figured if I had money in the account, that I could send him some money, and he promised to have it back within 24, 48 hours. And I thought, could do that. No one would ever know, and I'd be okay. But one thing kept happening after another. He'd need more money because he was coming in over budget. Things didn't get done on time. He needed a lawyer. He had to take a money loan, and it needed to be paid back. Part of me thinks that he's going to come through and pay me back what he owes me, and swoop in here, be the knight in shining armor. But it's just so absurd that there's a big part of me that doesn't believe that. And that is where this is all so pitiful, is because if he's a scammer, I've been so brainwashed, and I've lost everything. It's all I had. It's any inheritance that I could have passed on to my daughter. The loss of money was my future, and knowing that I wouldn't have to work, that I could just make it to the ripe old age of whatever and be perfectly comfortable. The loss that I've suffered emotionally, I think, has even been more traumatic. I can't even imagine a person that could be this bad. So I think of him, I can't think of him that way. My mind keeps me from thinking of him that way, because there can't be a man in this world that could be this horrible, to have purposefully done what he's done to me. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. If they're real, and if the love is real, they're going to want to see you as soon as possible. I mean, it's been 2.5 years, and I still haven't seen his face.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's very typical victimology there. They know how to play with people's emotions and have them convince themselves that this person is legit. And like she said, they had pictures, they told a good story, and yeah. So that's how these things happen and progress. And by all means, please educate, especially the older generations. Educate your kids too, because this can happen to them. They may not, maybe they're, you're a well-to-do family, and the kid's got a good budget. There's nothing saying that this can't happen to them too, or any age for that matter. But keep this in the back of your mind. It's a very important cautionary tale, especially on Valentine's Day. So now that we're done with the kind of doom and gloom stuff, let me introduce you to somebody who is going to love you for exactly who you are and is never going to leave you or ask you for money. Maybe treats, though. Here we go. There's Harry. His adoption fee has been reduced by $25. He's a 1-year-old male. He's got a really sweet face, though. Look at those eyes. Oh, the ears. And then there's Kid. He's a 1-year-old male. Man, he looks like he's spunky. He looks like he walks. I guarantee he loves long walks. And then we got Larry. He's a 2-year-old male. He's a cutie too. Again, adoption fee has been reduced by $25. And Mia, 5-year-old female. Look at that. She reminds me of our gang, Spot. She got Spot on her eye. She's so cute. And she's willing to wear a handkerchief around her neck. That's cool too. She looks like sweetie. Again, adoption fees have been reduced by $25 for all of these. And Paisley, you look like a character, Paisley. She's a 3-year-old female. She's adoptable too. Same thing, $25 off her adoption fee. And Sparkles, I love that name. 4-year-old female. She looks like she's a sweetheart too. Like she just curl up in bed with you and love on you. Yeah. And then we got Ty. He's a 1-year-old male. Yeah, he looks like he'd chase a ball. Yeah. So these are all adoptable pets. If you're a veteran, there is a program called Pets for Patriots. And these are all brought to us by the Humane Society Pinellas. They're a proud partner of the Pets for Patriots program. And it allows veterans and active duty military, nation's veterans waived fees for dogs or cats at least 2 years of age, or those with special needs, or those that were homeless for 6 months, or dogs that are 40 plus pounds at adoption. So there are a lot of animals out there that qualify for that. And if you're a veteran, do it. It's the best love you'll get in your life. There's also Seniors for Seniors, Humane Society of Pinellas. We believe that love has no age limit. Adopters the age 60 or older are eligible for waived adoption fees for their adoption of a dog or cat age 7 plus. So yeah, that's nice. I dig that. And Humane Society of Pinellas is fear-free. They take the pet out of petrified. They're no-kill shelter, and they do their best to absolutely baby these animals. So I'm all about it. If you want to check them out, you can find them at humanesocietyofpinellas.com, or just Google them, and you can find all of the information you're looking for. They have plenty of adoptable pets, and you can foster pets from there too. So, and with that, we'll do this.
Can you spare just $5 for a pause cause? These beautiful faces are all in boarding, and that's not free. And poor Chandler doesn't even have a photo yet, but he ran up the vet bill with his battle with liver failure. Any amount is gratefully received. You can donate at pawliferescuegroup.org/donate. If you would prefer to donate products, they have a link on that page for their Amazon wish list too. Adopt, don't shop, and please spay and neuter your pets. If you can't adopt, then please consider fostering or financing one of these friendly faces.
They're all so stinking cute. So anyhow, that's it for the romance scam. That's it for the Valentine's Day special. Go find the love of your life. They're out there at a pet shelter. Believe me, best thing that will ever happen to you. That's it for me for this evening. I know it was a little bit short, but hey, maybe you're into that. I have a date with my wife. We're going to go walk down the aisle again at the grocery store. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me this evening. I hope you found it entertaining, maybe even informative. If you have questions, please email them to podcast@zackkidd.com, and I'll include the response in the next live stream. Until then, I'm Zach Kidd, Realtor, Clearwater, Florida, signing off.